The Buckley Healthcare Center has short-term and long-term care for people of all ages up in Greenfield, and they also have Seasons, their very own restaurant on site. And today, Chef Mike Harrison from Buckley Healthcare Center is here, and we are making so much food. But we're starting with some zucchini.
This is a great dish to, you don't want to heat up your kitchen. It's one of those hot summer days. This is a really nice light fare, and it's going to accompany the other two dishes we do really, really well.
Now, before we get into the food, Mike, tell us a little bit about Buckley Healthcare Center. What do you do there?
Okay, what we are is we are a long-term skilled nursing center. We are a short-term rehabilitation center. The care we give, like I always say, is second to none.
And it's a family environment too. That's what I get from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, the restaurant we opened was because the relatives and the visitors were coming around, and I thought to myself, what could I do to make sure that my resident family members stay a little longer and enjoy the atmosphere as much as we do working there.
So you have a restaurant, it's called Seasons, it's right in Greenfield, and anyone can go.
Anyone who has a family member or friend there. We also, if you've stayed there, we let you come back.
Well, because probably you enjoyed the food so much you want to come back. Well,
absolutely.
Speaking of enjoying the food, it smells great here, so we're starting with a salad.
This is a ribbon zucchini salad. It's going to be coming up on one of our menus coming up. We have 3 cycle menus in the restaurant that last for about 2 weeks. 3 appetizers, 3 entrees, 3 sandwiches, 3 desserts, and 2 hearty soups, and those go for about 2 weeks. So let's get started with this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of, about 2 tablespoons of olive oil.
I notice you don't have a lot of olive oil, which is a good thing.
No, yeah, absolutely. Olive oil is so prevalent in taste. A little goes a long way.
That's true.
Now we're going to about 2 tablespoons, maybe a little more Dijon mustard.
And that helps to coagulate everything, bring it all together.
Absolutely. And then we're going to do 2 tablespoons of lemon zest and lemon juice. I just mixed it right in the same bowl. Lemon
zest and juice, because the zest brings out the oil. The juice obviously is that citrus flavor.
It's a good citrus flavor, absolutely. With the real nice thing is, like for Zay, it's in the endive family, so it's a little bit bitter. But with the basil and the mint,
the salad itself just balances it all out.
Absolutely.
Just mixing all that together. It looks great.
Yep. And then first thing we're going to do.
You can smell that lemon zest very quickly once you start mixing everything together. Wow, that smells great.
And the nice part about the zucchini is you don't have to cook it.
I love that.
No.
Because you've sliced it thin enough. Is that right?
Sliced it thin enough.
See, I always cook my zucchini because I cut it too thick and it has that spongy flavor almost, but not when you do it like this.
About 1/8 of an inch in slice.
So do you do that with just a good old-fashioned ribbon slicer?
I have a mandolin, but at home, one of the things I would suggest, if whether you're doing mushrooms, zucchini, anything that's round, cut one side of it so it'll sit flat, and then you'll have all your digits at the end of the meal.
It's important. You don't want to scun your knuckles off.
Yeah. So
we're going to mix all that together.
Yep, we're going to mix this together.
And then we top the salad with it. So it's kind of a zucchini dressing almost.
Yep. The nice part about how many people go to the store or do a recipe and it calls for fresh herbs. And you buy a big bunch of it, and then the rest just dries out or wilts.
Or it sits, it sits in the back of my fridge, and then I end up throwing it away because it's brown and
what a
leaking.
Great way of complementing your lettuces that you already have in your crisper with a little fresh mint, some fresh basil. The other thing is, if you don't have one, get a ceramic knife.
Good point.
Get a ceramic knife, because when you're cutting your lettuces, if you don't eat everything immediately, it turns black and brown a lot. So we have a ceramic knife at home. All right, we're going to mix it.
And you're going to mix everything up together. Well, I'm going to let you do that, and we'll finish it up a little bit later in the show. We're also going to make some dessert, and we're going to make some scallops later in the show. But welcome back to Mass Appeal, and we're back in the kitchen with Chef Mike Harrison from Buckley Healthcare Center. Now we're going to make sea scallops with corn coulis and tomatoes. Now, what's a coulis?
A coulis is something that you saute in some fresh herbs in garlic oil, really whatever flavors you're looking for. Then we're going to let it cool for a second, and then we're going to puree it and then pour it through a strainer to get rid of any of the thick pieces. So it's like a puree mixture that's very elegant and it's full of flavor.
So that's what we're doing right now with the corn. So let's let that saute a little bit and maybe pop in those scallops.
Yep, we're gonna. Now the key, like I've said before, the key with scallops or anything that you want to sear,
Start the pan hot.
start the pan hot. You want to get the oil hot enough, but not smoking.
And someone once told me, it might have been you have to dry the scallops too.
Absolutely, dry them real well. We patted them dry in a paper towel or a towel. Same thing when you're outside grilling. Everybody marinates meats, and you get great flavor out of it. But if you decide to go right from the marinade to the grill, first thing's going to happen is you're going to steam your food. And steam is for vegetables and corn on the cob and stuff like that.
It's not for meat.
It's not for meat.
Scallops are one of those things that are really tricky to cook at home if you don't know what you're doing, because it's a quick process. It doesn't take long to cook a scallop.
Yeah, we're going to go 4 minutes total, about 2 minutes on each side.
And in the meantime, we're stirring this, and this is the corn coulis. What's inside the corn coulis?
Okay, what I did is I started with some fresh shallots, a little olive oil. Once the shallots start to brown, I added some basil and garlic.
And kind of got it all going, and it's not reducing really, but it's getting sauteed really well.
Right. Now, I'm going to add a little 2% milk.
So not full cream, not skim milk, 2%.
That's good for you.
Exactly. A little bit of fat in there never hurt anybody.
And then I'm just going to turn that up a little bit. Bring it just so the milk starts to heat up. I'm going to pull that out, let it sit for a couple minutes, run it through. If you don't have a wand like I have, your blender at home will work really, really well. And then I'm going to pour it through a strainer.
Just to make sure it's pure, there's no chunks in it.
I usually do that into a pan, and then because that pan, I'm going to reheat it when the scallops are done.
Just like a sauce. In the meantime, while we let these cook a couple minutes on each side, this is the salad we were making earlier. So while I plate it, do you want to tell me what's in it?
Okay, so what we had there is I took some, it's a ribbon zucchini salad. So I took some zucchini, sliced them, about an eighth of an inch thick, rinsed them off in a little water, a little salt and pepper. Then I pat dry them with a towel. Then I made the dressing out of anchovy paste, Dijon mustard, lemon zest, lemon juice.
A little bit of olive oil.
A little bit of olive oil. And then I took some fresh herbs, mint, parsley, basil, and frisee, which is in the endive family. It's a little bitter. And then I took some red onion and some Kamala olives, whipped that together. And as you see, it doesn't heat up your kitchen, and it's really good on the palate.
That's great on a hot day. Well, Mike, thank you so much. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to finish up these scallops, this salad, and we're going to make a perfect springtime dessert. Later in the show, there's pineapple in it. We are back in the kitchen with Chef Mike Harrison. He's from the Buckley Healthcare Center, and we're finishing up our scallops, and then we're going to make a tasty dessert. Thank you so much for sticking around. It smells amazing.
Yes, it does. I've been smelling it all show. Seth has been lucky. He's been over here with you.
So, well, thank you.
We have the finished scallops.
Yep. And this is the corn coulis.
That's what we were making earlier, and it's a pureed thing. You use your immersion blender to make it, and then you squeeze it out so it's just pure and there's no bumps in it.
Yep. And so we're just going to put our scallops right on top of that.
Well, it looks beautiful.
And display it. And
nice presentation. And then on top, you're putting a tomato dressing that looks amazing.
Now, this is just, really, it's simple. It's some plum tomatoes, de-seeded, a little bit of fresh parsley, salt and pepper. Do it, prior to service so that it starts to break down the tomato so you get the flavor. Salt is a seasoning. We don't want to use too much of it, but it does add a lot of flavor to a lot of items.
Well, it looks good, but you have dessert over here, and I'm really interested in this dessert.
We get sidetracked easily.
Good. All right, so basically what I did is I
grilled
took
up some
a pineapple, cored out the middle, added some brown sugar to it, just marinated it for a little while, and then I'm going to take a little vanilla ice cream while it's hot,
Oh, and you can just see that ice cream just melting down right
and
now.
so when you say marinated it in brown sugar, I'm not a cook.
Okay.
So did you add liquid to it, or did you just plop it in with the dry sugar?
No, first of all, pineapples have their own sweetness and their own juice. I'm just trying to bring it out. As soon as you add brown sugar to anything, whether you heat it or it's going to dissolve and become part of it, and that's where your caramelization process happens.
And is that why it's this pretty brown color?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So we're serving it with this. This is a great 3 dishes. We have the zucchini salad, we have the scallops with tomatoes, and the coulis on the bottom, a corn coulis, and lastly, this pineapple. But you could make something like this with a lot of other grilled fruit. What fruit do you like to grill?
I love peaches when they're in season. I keep hoping that they're going to come out early, but they didn't. So peaches work real well. It works well with sorbets. If I had more time, I would probably at home, I would take some half and half, some brown sugar, and make a caramel sauce. Caramel sauce over that, it would taste wonderful. Maybe some toasted coconut. We have a Hawaiian luau coming up at work where I'm going to do we won't do a baby pig, but I'll do a ham, and we'll carve it in front of everybody.
You have so many family-friendly events there. I know you do a birthday month. Tell us a little bit about that, because I would love a birthday month.
Well, what we do is there's the birthday dinner. What we used to do is we used to go up to the residence room and ask them what would they like to have. Well, I thought to myself, that really enables them to get out of the room and celebrate it. When we celebrate our birthday, we want to celebrate it with friends. Half of us, once we get to a certain age, we want to ignore our birthdays.
True, yeah.
So
I'm getting to that age right about now.
It's a nice time to get together with friends. So the activities department and myself, we teamed up. Now we have a birthday dinner. It's the second Tuesday of every month. We send out invitations to family members and friends. We get a cake. For instance, this cake this month will say, "Happy birthday, May babies." We'll invite them down to the restaurant. And sometimes our maintenance director will bring out his guitar and play music throughout the event. We have a gentleman that'll get up and sing Irish songs for us. It's a community.
It sounds like a huge birthday bash.
It is.
I think so often these days people are searching for community, so I'm glad that they might have found it at Buckley Healthcare Center. So here we have it, 3 delicious dishes, all from Seasons Restaurant at the Buckley Healthcare Center. Mike, thanks so much for stopping by today. I cannot wait to dig
I
in.
appreciate it.
And for more information on the Buckley Healthcare Center in Greenfield, call them, 413-774-3143. You can also visit them online, buckleyhealthcare.com. But don't go anywhere. There's more Mass Appeal coming up right after this.